All said and done, the narration is reasonably engaging and peppered with some fine performances. This powerful human drama could have been well accomplished, according to me, within 4 long episodes. Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. Today we will be reviewing the series called Suzhal. Watching this 8-episode series Suzhal, produced by Gayathri and Pushkar, I felt that the only way to do justice to this mega production was to binge watch them at a stretch for about 7 hours. I realized that this script was not designed as self-contained modules, but more as a 6.5-hour film split into 8 long episodes. It does not allow the viewer to see any episode at random and get a kind of completed feeling, as one would witness in the dozens of crime thriller series being aired today on various OTT platforms. Well, that's the way it is designed, and so one has to see it for the intentions that are behind this production. All said and done, the narration is reasonably engaging and peppered with some fine performances by several young actors. It makes for some compelling viewing. Noteworthy is the balance held between some contrasting roles and their enactments. For a start, we have Parthiban playing Shanmugam, an industrial worker, versus Harish Uthaman playing Trilok Vadde, an arrogant capitalist. And then we have Sriya Reddy playing Regina, a tough police inspector, versus Nandini, the traumatized daughter of Shanmugam, played by Aishwarya Rajesh. And then we have Kathir playing Sakarai, a sincere junior cop, as opposed to Guna, the snaky assistant to Shanmugam, played by Kumaravel. All of them are somehow stitched together by 2 bigger conflicts. A giant cement factory that catches fire, gets burned down to throw hundreds of people out of jobs, and a stormy Romeo and Juliet teenage romance between Nila and Adhisyam, 2 high-profile school kids and their tragedy, which explodes all human relationships within this small town to tiny bits. This powerful human drama could have been well accomplished, according to me, within 4 long episodes. But to spread out this production to twice its length, the story is thickly carpeted by a big, massive tribal festival dedicated to Angalamman, a local fertility deity replete with dances, stage plays, and some really esoteric rituals. The fact that this is so deeply a part of rural Tamil Nadu can actually be a big risk in trying to attract viewers who watch dubbed versions in other languages. In fact, the 2nd episode is almost entirely dedicated to this village festival, which takes place largely by nights. This festival, however, functions like a good time clock in the race to discover who burnt the factory down and who was responsible for the death of the teenagers. Directors Bramma and Anucharan have equally distributed the responsibility of staging this highly intertwined screenplay. Watching their craftsmanship can provide a few lessons or insights to all of us into the formula for stretching a reasonably short human drama into a wide highway of subjects dealing with human psychology and social tensions. Let's look at some of them. What we see is some highly polarized positions. There is a sleepy small hillside town in which we have a giant modern cement factory, and on the other hand, we have locals who seem to be living in some kind of a time warp, celebrating very ancient bloodletting rituals. And then there are primary characters driving Mercedes-Benz cars, attending convent schools, and living in posh modern bungalows, while the rest live in small cramped residences. The women again are sharply divided between those who are aggressive and those who are meek and submissive. The young ones are somehow seen under the shadow of very complicated elders, whose dominance is seen as stifling their freedom, while the local villagers seem to have complete freedom to dance out their rituals with complete acceptance by the local folk. Suzhal reminded me of a similar formula presentation on Amazon early last year in another 8-part series called The Last Hour, made by Amit Kumar. That police crime thriller drama was staged in the hilly landscape of Sikkim with very similar polarizations and complicated characterizations of tribal beliefs and modern ways of police dispensing law and order. Interesting to see a follow-up like this. But what brings a level of credibility to these narratives is the fact that none of these characters are totally clean or honest. The shades of grey revealed by every character seems to hold a mirror to several modern-day dichotomies of what is decent, who is virtuous, and how we have all ended becoming our own enemies. Parthiban and Sriya Reddy shouldered the dangers of living and enacting such dangerous and troubled relationships with enormous conviction and consistency. Kathir and Aishwarya Rajesh take on some incredible situations and handle them with quite some detailing. I should make special mention here of the Terukuthu artists from Purusai, headed by Kannappa, and a very convincing appearance put up by Mekha Rajan as Dr. Sangamitra. But it is the role of Kodan Raman, an insurance investigator, played by Santana Bharati, which seems to have been written a bit hurriedly. In more ways than one, his character should have been the main column holding up this drama. But he has been treated like an outlier, a grimy, irritating character who has no capacity in deciding any of the outcomes. Sadly, he is the Hercule Poirot or the Sherlock Holmes of this narrative. He did deserve a little more attention and empathy, but that does not happen. So, when he plays out the judgment cards and becomes the conscience keeper for this tense drama at the end, it looks just too convenient in the last episode. It seems as if he has been planted to close the cases and make the culprits accept their guilt and subsequent responsibilities. Coming on an international OTT platform, I would like the young team at Amazon, taking monumental decisions on navigating the future of Indian episodic dramas, to dive deeper and fine-tune these screenplays and shooting scripts. The music track by Sam C.S. needs to sound a little more original and feel specifically designed for these episodes. All the chaotic tribal dances and the plethora of car chases and drone shots have to be independently designed from within the dramatic progression of the episodes. They should not look like stock shots in which you can dip into at any time and fill up the episodic time slots. You see, these are establishing times for building one's credibility in an international OTT market. And I am sure Gayathri and Pushkar have gained some valuable experience to move forward. Wishing them and their team all the very best. Thank you so much.